After the atrocity that is commonly known as Jurassic World Dominion, I had no expectation that there would ever be a sequel. And if there was a sequel, it would have to carve out its own course through this franchise. Well, that's what we got. This is the 7th installment of the Jurassic World Park series. This time, the plot is incredibly simple. Basically, a pharmaceutical company, Parker Geniax, needs the DNA of the 3 largest dinosaurs that are alive today to help progress their medical studies about heart disease. So to do this, they get a paleontologist, Dr. Henry Loomis, who is your stereotypical white science guy who pretends he's shy until he has his moment. Then he's feeling up dino legs strictly for science purposes. Then they get their mercenaries, because the island where the dinos live is off limits. This rule is a typical one with the franchise, and every story has to do with breaking it since the first 2 parks were failures. So this mercenary team is led by Zora Bennett, who's played by Scarlett Johansson. Zora is a businesswoman / action guy. But really, this is just a cardboard cutout of what the filmmakers think Lara Croft from Tomb Raider would look like. Immediately, we're shown that Zora won't take any unethical medical contracts unless it's humane in some matter. Just think about what I just said. You're a mercenary with ethics. What the f? So what gets worse is that she makes sure the contract is enough for her partner Duncan to retire. I don't know about you, but if I wanted to hire a person for a secret mission that might get everyone killed, I'm not choosing the left-wing, ethical, eco-friendly feminist. I'm not trying to be political, it's just these jobs are dangerous. I'd go for the less talkative ones who know how to shoot a gun. So now that we've got our team, we set sail to Isle St. Hubert, where they go to find their 3 big dinos. Mosasaurus because he's a hit with the family, Titanus, the long necks that are in mating season, but I thought they were all female, and Quetzalcoatlus, a personal favorite of mine, which is depicted being too small in this movie. These are the 3 big guys, but before we do any of that, we run into another plot. Like a bat from hell, I can tell you the pre-production of this film was trifled with ideas, but no solid story. I say this because the second group enters this film, and it's almost ruined. You have the pharmaceutical mercenaries with an ethics team, and then you have discount Pedro Pascal and his family. The dude clearly sucks as a dad, and now he's trying to risk everyone's lives like a good deadbeat dad would. But here's the issue with this. There are now 2 different teams, and they have very different needs and wants. Occasionally, the script will feed ScarJo a line to help include the family, but this is never really enough to say that they are one solid group. The family has better dynamics though. You can easily guess where the mercenaries are heading towards, but the family has some good solid time together. In essence, this family is the better group of survivors we should have followed. Not only that, but I take it back to the original Jurassic Park with Dr. Alan Grant and the kids trying to survive the night. Or we go to Lost World, when Dr. Malcolm is forced to return to save his daughter and friends. And we push forward to World, the World trilogy, where by the end, Owen, Claire, and Macy are a family. This family should have been the story. No need for mercenaries. And the mercenaries should have been saved for a video game. After the 2 teams meet each other, they have a battle on a boat because we need Mosasaurus' DNA. This is when you get that super rare moment. Atticus from Rebel Moon? Is that you? It is, and he's still typecasted as a jerk. In this fight, they are surrounded by 3 Spinosauruses, who are faithfully adapted this time since paleontologists have determined that these guys would swim and their snouts are elongated for catching fish. Through this sequence of action, the 2 teams are separated. The mercenaries continue finding more DNA, which is never really a problem for them since only non-speaking characters are eaten, while the main cast, of course, lives because the script lets them. Okay, some spoilers, but I feel like we should talk about the BS this movie forces onto its viewers. Dr. Henry Loomis is played by Jonathan Bailey. We last saw him with his wicked dance moves in a library. Loomis needs the Quetzalcoatlus DNA, so the team climbs up a large cliff to find ancient ruins, and there they extract the DNA from an egg. This is a clear ode to Raiders of the Lost Ark. Mama comes back and attacks, and eventually Loomis takes a nasty fall from a cliff, but the jungle canopy saves his fall. No, this wouldn't work this way, but we can't kill a main character. Another major issue I have is a river raft scene in which the family takes a raft down the river as a T-Rex follows them. This scene was in the book Jurassic Park, and it was supposed to be in the original film, but it got scrapped due to budget and time concerns. Everything is fine about this scene until we get to the end of the river, where there are two large rocks acting as pillars that for some reason prevent the T-Rex from further attacking. A hungry apex predator wouldn't just stop hunting because of a rock. It would fit itself through or simply go around. Nope, Rexy gets no food and turns away, and everyone lives. Now, why was I excited for this movie? It's not just the dinos and the director, but the freak of nature that Disastrous Rex is, commonly known as D-Rex. This thing is ugly, but this is where the first two Jurassic Worlds and the Netflix series were moving towards. Mutated creatures used for military purposes. If we look back at Indominus, and we look at Indo, and even Scorpius Rex, they are explained to the audience and what their abilities and purposes are, and their genetic makeup. You don't get a single shred of intel on the D-Rex. In fact, I had to look this thing up, and on the fan wiki, they don't even know what it is. It's just all speculation. Here's what we know just by seeing its behavior in the few times it actually shows up. Large, six-limbed beast with a tiny snout and a domed skull. She has four arms, two small ones that look more like a T-Rex and two larger arms to walk on, with its knuckles. What animal walks on its knuckles? It's not inspired by another dino, but a current living mammal. There are two things I could think of, gorillas and Tarzan.
Gorilla. Gorilla. Oh, he's got it.
So it's a gorilla. This would explain the short snout and the skull shape. She is also seen to be observational when interacting with humans. She also ripped a helicopter out of the sky, tried to eat it, realized that's not food, and threw it away. Again, this is all speculation. Please write your thoughts about this monster in the comments. Maybe you saw something I didn't. There's another abomination within this film called Mutodon. These are pterodons mixed with velociraptors. See, the velociraptor is a franchise staple. Every movie gets a big scene with them, and in the World Trilogy, you have Blue. But this film, you get 1 week scene of raptors coming up on a kid before being attacked by a Mutodon. I have no comments on its design, because I don't want this. I just want velociraptors.
Hold up, everything.
All in all, this movie promises an adventure, and you'll get that between the two different teams. But the stakes aren't really there. It's a family fun adventure with dinosaurs. Meaningless characters are the only ones who get eaten, and everyone else lives. There's nothing more beyond this, which sucks. There isn't enough science or explanation that this franchise was built on. There are moments of action, but like I said, everyone is saved by the script. Jurassic World Rebirth is a one-off film for the franchise, and it should stay that way. Also, ScarJo is a horrible actress, and Mahershala Ali can't save her from this. I made fun of Chris Pratt's Owen Grady, but after seeing this, I want him back. It's a 2 out of 5 stars from me. If you haven't seen this one, don't. You miss nothing. Look, when I talk to my friends about this, and they aren't cinephiles like me, they're just average moviegoers, they too thought this movie sucked. That's a big no-no in my book. If general audiences don't like your work, maybe you shouldn't make it. I won't tell you how this movie ends, but it's such a middle finger to everyone, and there's no explanation on why any of it was possible. Now this movie made its money back, and then some. And the success of the Netflix series, there's still a market for Jurassic World, just not in this image. Go back to the basics of what made the first few great. Also, the D-Rex toy sold like wildfire, so I expect to see it again. Okay, well, this was a disappointment for me, but thanks for watching. Bye.